This Ashandarei spear sword makes for a pretty fragile shipment, so I'm going to experiment with making a custom box to protect it during shipping and also something that will be useful for transporting the item in future. I'm starting out with a sheet of corrugated plastic. This is 2 millimeters thick, so it's fairly easy to work with and will provide a decent amount of protection without being overly heavy. The first step is to mark out the pattern for how the box is going to fit together. Some areas get cut all the way through to make flaps, which will be used to join the pieces together in the correct shape, but then other areas just need to be scored so that they can be folded. In the direction that the corrugations run, scoring is easy. You just close the blade on the knife and run the blade along that edge. It pretty much stays in line even without a ruler, so it's nice to work in that direction. The opposite direction, crossing the corrugations, not so easy. It's not terrible with 2 millimeter. Certainly with some of the thicker corrugated plastics, it can be a real workout to get those to fold. In this case, with the 2 millimeter, you can still just score it. So again, with the closed blade on the craft knife, I'm running that along a ruler after marking the correct placement with a Sharpie. And I have to run that down a few times to get it to fold cross corrugation. For the top of the box, I offset that on the side somewhat so that it could fit over the bottom portion. It turns out that I didn't offset it quite enough. It's easy to underestimate how much the corrugated plastic will expand or just take up more space than expected after it's folded. So that's something to keep in mind if you're creating a box. Just make sure to leave enough clearance between the lid and the bottom. I designed the pattern working within the constraints of the sheet size that I had to work with. The length was just about right. It was a bit narrow in the width, so I wasn't able to double over the front, but that's fine because the top and the bottom piece will overlap and provide sufficient protection. It was important to have the placement correct before scoring the lines, because once you score it in any direction, then of course it's weakened along that line. So that's why I marked everything out with marker first. And to get the placement even, you can also just count the corrugations in some areas. That's a useful technique for making sure that the flaps are equal size in that direction. To join everything together, I used a mix of packing tape and high-temp hot glue. The packing tape provides some immediate stick power so that it will keep the flap somewhat in place while the glue cools. It's important to use high-temp glue with this so that it melts into the plastic just a little bit so you get a good bond, not just a surface bond. I clamped down the flaps while the glue cooled. The glue does take a while to cool because it starts out so hot. But once it's cooled, the bond is decent and you can just take off the clamps. Folding the plastic gives it quite a bit more rigidity, especially in the cross corrugation direction. The front flap, because it is running along the same direction as the corrugations and it is so long, it would be great to have a wide enough sheet to double that over so it's a bit more stiff, but in this case we're going to work with that by attaching it directly to the foam insert later on. But the sides are nice and rigid, and we've got that doubled up also between the top of the box and the bottom. And I left the back attached so that it's all one piece. You don't have a top and a bottom to keep track of. They just are a single unit. So I checked to make sure that the sword was going to fit in properly and then measured the final inner dimensions before moving on to creating the foam insert. To create the insert, I'm working with some large sheets of a styrofoam type product, and of course you could use a thick sheet and just cut it out of that, but this is what I had to work with, so I'm doing multiple layers to build it up to the correct thickness. I cut a paper template according to the inner dimensions of the box and used that to cut multiple pieces from each sheet and also to piece together some of the cutoffs so as not to waste those portions. And those will just be used in the center of the block to hide any seams. When cutting foam, it does dull the blade quite quickly, so it's nice to have some WD-40 and a sharpener on hand. either that or a lot of extra blades, because once it starts to dull, it will sort of tear the foam instead of cutting it cleanly. So it's important to keep that blade nice and sharp. The cutout for the sword will go all the way through most of the sheets, but some areas it won't be a full cutout because the blade is somewhat thinner than the handle, and the handle is somewhat thinner than the couplings. So I traced the sword onto a sheet of foam at a time and cut that out and just double checked the fit as I went. I cut out this scrap a bit more carefully because I do need one piece shaped to the blade that I'll use at the end. I glued on additional sheets after cutting that out, and also pieced together some of those cutoffs to make use of those. The hot glue was working really well with this particular foam. I did a test first to make sure that it wasn't going to melt through before the glue could cool, and because it did work, I stuck with the hot glue because spray adhesive works well, but is also a lot more messy. So depending on your foam, just make sure that you're using a glue that doesn't melt the foam, either chemically or just from the heat. I continued to cut out the shape as I went, just allowing it to get somewhat smaller towards the very bottom, since the prop does narrow as it goes down with the blade. Towards the top, though, it has to continue to get wider so that the prop can be removed from the foam. I did trial and error here to get the fit right, just trimming out bits as I went and testing the sword to see if it was fitting in properly. I want it to be a tight fit so that it doesn't slosh around inside the box, but it also needs to remove easily without causing any potential damage to the blade. After several rounds of back and forth, I got a satisfactory fit with the blade into the foam insert, so then it was time to attach this into the corrugated box. This is the stage at which we can strengthen that front edge, because it does bow out slightly, but the foam will give that some rigidity. So after double checking that the fit was correct, I went back to the hot glue to go ahead and attach this foam permanently into the plastic box. I did this in stages so that I could hold the box pressed against the foam as the glue cooled. So I did the back and sides and bottom first, and then added a good dose of glue to the front edge and pressed that down and weighted it down until the glue had cooled, and so then everything was much more square. To add further protection to the top of the sword, I added an additional sheet that's hot glued inside the top of the box. The goal here is to make everything a single piece so there aren't multiple inserts to keep track of. I also added that cutoff piece to build out the area where the blade sits, since that is somewhat lower than the handle, and again hot glued that to the top so that there is just one single box with all of the inserts attached. The blade now fits in nicely and can be easily removed by gripping the base of the handle to release it from the foam. I now need to create something to hold the box closed, so I have some plastic webbing and Velcro. I'm going to make some custom fitted straps, so that gets trimmed and then the ends melted to ensure that they don't fray. And the Velcro is cut to 6-inch lengths and paired up on each side of the webbing, and then that's stitched in place. With the straps stitched together, I double checked the fit to ensure that this was going to hold the box closed nicely, and then I hot glued these only at the back, just so that the straps wouldn't get lost while they were in storage, so that the box could be used for transporting the item in future. The final element for the box portion of this packaging was to add some labels on the inside. I added a note to indicate where the blade should be gripped to remove it from the foam, right there at the base of the handle. And then I also added a note to go with the large handle for this that offers the translation of the inscription that's engraved on the handle. Next up is to package the long handle extension that is screwed onto the blade when the part is fully assembled. So I have a large tube for this that I've cut to an appropriate size, leaving some space for some padding at the top and the bottom. Now this tube didn't have any end caps, so I created some custom end caps designed after the typical style of end cap you would see on a shipping tube. I created the profile and revolved that around in Fusion 360 to create the basic shape. I also added some decoration by importing the raven design that's from the prop itself and extruded that onto the top of the cap. So this was then 3D printed twice to create the top and bottom end caps. The ridges on the side allow it to be inserted and removed easily so that the tube can be reused for storing and transporting the prop. It's sized to be a decently tight fit without being too difficult to remove, but you could of course glue this in place too, at least on one side, if the cap doesn't need to be removable. Here's how the prop all goes into storage. So it starts out as one long piece, but there is a concealed joint around the center that unscrews. The blade is then placed into the foam insert. The placement is fairly tight so that it's snug and doesn't slosh around while it's transported. Before inserting the handle into the tube, I added a protective piece of fabric so that the paint wouldn't get scuffed over time going in and out of the tube as it's transported. Then that just slides into the tube and we just place the end cap over that. If necessary, that could be glued or taped to hold it more securely, but the pressure fit was pretty good here. You can now close up this box and fasten those Velcro straps so that the blade is held securely in place, ready for transport. Now this is going to be shipped, so I am going to add an external box with some bubble wrap on the inside to provide additional protection. But overall, we now have some useful containers for storing and transporting the halves of this prop.